one slide and then be like, all right, I'm going to switch to this slide.
So your presentation will have 9 images, basically, 9 things. We'll walk through the details as we get closer, but I wanted you to know about it now. And you're going to be making them in Google Documents. You're going to make 9 slides in Google Documents, and you're going to export it in a certain way so that it will run 20 seconds per slide when you run it. Other questions? This is the talk you have to practice for. And I will share with you this rubric of how I will be looking at your presentations to see if you're doing well at this or not. Did you follow the requirements? Did you have a first slide that's clear, introduction? Are you prepared with a compelling script? Do you know what's going on? Is it organized in a nice way? Is it visually appealing? Are all your images that you grabbed from Google properly cited that you put together? And do you have no spelling or misspellings or no grammar problems on your slides? You really shouldn't have much text at all in this type of presentation, because in a wall of text, you can't read that in 20 seconds. So you want to have the images behind you and you talking about things very compellingly. Okay, that's what's going to come up. And it's going to be according to the schedule. We are going to do them, where did it go? Yes, on the 19th of February. And we should all give 3-minute presentations. We should be able to get through 18 3-minute presentations in 45 or in the 75-minute time slot. Cross our fingers. I think we can do this. It'll be really cool and fun. Okay, so other things I wanted to talk about today. We have a good idea of these games. We've analyzed them, resources. What does it take to make a game? That's the next step, and this is what we're going to spend most of the semester on, making games. When a lot of people come to me and say that they want to make a game, they want to be designing games all the time, they don't realize all the pieces that go into it. So let's walk through the way that games are made. There's so many different roles inside video game development. Let's go down and look at them. There is the producer. There's usually someone in charge of the whole process. There is the manager that says, we want to make a game. I'm the organization person. I'm in charge of schedules and teams and who does what. I know everything that's going on for this game. They know that people get paid. They do the human resources kind of talks and other stuff like that. They make sure that the game is on track. They talk to PR. They are the public face, the manager, director of the game. There is the publisher, the people who actually make the game distributed. We won't talk about that much. But then there's the development team who actually creates the game, sits down and does it. A lot of indie games are just one person sitting there making it. But to do that, you have to have so many skills to make a good game. Here are the different roles that come together. There is usually the designer. The designer might know a little bit about art. They might know a little bit about programming. But what they focus on is the design. Level design, narrative design, compelling ways that a game works. There's somebody usually devoted just to that, to making sure the experience is a really fun, engaging experience. So if you want to be a game designer, that's what you might be doing at a game company. You might be the one thinking about the flow of the game, the balance of the game, all the resources and coming up with all the pieces. How does this work? How does this fit together? That's the designer's responsibility. And these are not clear-cut responsibilities. Most people have other pieces they do, but that's one central element of making a game, the design. Okay, the next thing, there are the artists. You have a design, you need assets. You don't just want gray boxes showing up on your screen all the time. You don't just want assets you downloaded from somewhere. Somebody is drawing your 2D or 3D images to make them work on the screen. And then within that, there's usually modelers, people that create 3D models. and then somebody who rigs it with a skeleton underneath it and makes all the different pieces happen, and then somebody that makes animations based on the skeletons of the 3D models that somebody else made. There's so many different pieces of what can happen, and we're still not where the programmers are. This is somebody who uses tools. The designer thinks about the game. The artists are making art, making background images, making skyboxes, putting things together for the sprites, making models. Then we get to the programmers. The computer science element starts to come in, and the programmers can either be designing the game engine. We're using the engine Unity, but programmers had to make that. And then the programmers usually do the AI, integrate all the different pieces to come together, and create tools for the designers. The designers are going to be saying, I want this to happen. A programmer makes it happen and gives them a nice GUI interface and gives them buttons and lets them see this is the object you drag over and copy and make 50 of these objects. This is how this is going to work. And then the designer has the flexibility to make the game flow work. So it's an interactive process. I want this. The developer, the programmer says, okay, I think I can do that. They work on the code. They make the interactions happen, give it back to the designer, and the game is starting to come together. There's that level designer, sound engineers. Almost all these games had sound. It was a compelling piece. Without the sound, you wouldn't really want to play some of these games. Some of you were saying every day the same dream. Without the sound, what's the point? You just keep on walking it through. It made it an interesting game. So we'll see how we can put sound into games. And then testing. Quality control, Q&A is very important for your game. Some people have jobs where they just test games. It's an entry-level position to a game company. Some people just say, I'm going to spend 3 months in California playing games. Sounds awesome, but it's really boring because you are playing games that are broken and playing them and writing down exactly what happened, where did it break, what was going on, here's a bug, here's another bug. It gets you in the door, but it's better to learn other skills. If you want to know about game design and development, you're only seeing the tail ends of things coming out. You want to be involved in making tools, making levels, knowing more pieces, and having some kind of demonstratable product. To say, I know how to make games, and put that together. Okay, any questions about that overview? This is what it takes to make a game. Sometimes it's one person, that guy sitting there making Minecraft. Many times it's a team, 4 people, 10 people, 100 people working for Valve making a game. EA has large teams of people making games. There's lots of different levels and lots of different interactions. But if you're going to make a game just by yourself, you need to have knowledge of all these different tools and pieces. We'll touch on them. And that's what your second presentation is going to be in this class, teaching other people about a tool. Either a tool that helps you program, a tool that helps you do sound, a tool that helps you do graphics, to make these games, to give you a dabbling in all of these different pieces that it takes to put a game together. Okay, any questions? So I hope that was a good summary of what you did. I enjoyed hearing from you and the interactions. I still have to watch a lot of Twitch with all of your entries, but I will skim them and try to give you some feedback. And just, I wanted you to try that experience out. Share. Yes. Thoughts?
I'm really sorry that mine was 50 minutes, but
okay.
I kind of got stuck for about 20 minutes just in that first little area.
Yes.
So
I saw many people doing year walk, getting stuck with the owls.
Oh no, I got stuck in the beginning. I was trying to talk to the firewood. It was
Yeah.
not letting me.
Okay, and that's what I wanted you to do as well. Learning a game is interesting to see how it works. You have a record of it now. People will have to learn your game that you make. How can you make that a compelling, interesting experience for them? What kind of things work? What kind of things don't? Okay, cool. Good class. It's good to be back. Make sure by Thursday you have Unity installed on your machine. We will be using Unity and starting to learn Unity dynamically. That's the plan. Come back with that on Thursday. Okay, cool.